Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. If it's your first time here, you like the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications for when we go live or post a video, tap the bell. We go live 30 minutes after market close, Monday through Friday. Got some crazy ads up on here on this channel right now. Anyways, if you want to join the UVH fam, our community, links below to the Discord along with our free options trading group. In there, you can ask questions, get trade ideas, whatever. It's pretty chill, whatever you're looking to do. If you're here right now, say what up. CFC, I see Jeff, Rob, what's going on? FC says, I feel okay with how many hundreds of dollars are left on the table today. It's just crazy. I feel like I would have learned my lesson from last week, but is that even a lesson to hold on longer? If anything, I'm more being disciplined this week, last week, and all the other times I left money on the table. There's nothing wrong with being disciplined. Like this whole time, this whole week since I've been back from Mexico, I've been leaving bags on the table, been straight disciplined, been trading small. But that's what you want. That's what you need to do. Davis, what's going on? Nice to see you here. Reworks, what's going on? Billy, VTech, I got your name right this time, man. Wayne, Daniel, Rocco. Growing our knowledge every day. Yeah, I mean, in a market like today, it definitely paid to hold. But since in January, February, March, every time that I held, the market ripped me a new one. So I've been cutting it loose, as you'll see here. Yeah, we'll talk Facebook. Hafiz, what's going on? And crowded chat today. Glad to see you all here, trying to get back into the groove of things. Actually, today I was actually pretty busy. I did 9 trades today, which is quite a bit. I've really only been trading on one account. I'm up about $60 today. Nothing huge, but you know, normally I trade across 4 accounts, but since I've been back, I've just been trading one account. Been trading very slow, really low. Probably could have definitely got more aggressive today, especially with SPY, but just did not. Got paid. Arish got paid. If you made money today, comment got paid. If you lost money today, comment learned a lesson. Rich killing on it. FedEx, nice. I left Lambos on the table today. Well, good thing there's always tomorrow. Nelson, what's going on? Anyway, so I'll go through a couple of my trades here, and then we'll talk about the market. Let's get here. So IBM, I closed out right at open today for 68 cents. I actually opened this position. It was actually a put. Opened it yesterday for 45 cents. Closed it out for 68 cents today. So like a little bit of like a 20%, 25% bump there. Yeah. I had the 139 put. Let's see here. Chathan, what's going on? Jimbo, and everyone's coming out. IBM today, let's pull it up. So I had the 139 put today. I closed it at 8:31, so 1 minute into open. It dipped below briefly 139. Thank God that I closed that, because that 139 put right now, if we look at IBM, that 139 put I closed out for 68 cents. What was the expiration? Expiration was tomorrow too, so that's why it was pretty risky. So 139, that put is now worth. It's saying this is all messed up. Let's see what Tastyworks says. Tastyworks is saying, yeah, the bid net. So let's just say the last price on it was 2 cents. I'll show you guys up on Tastyworks. Last price that someone paid for it was 2 cents. The bid and ask right now is 3 cents, 27 cents, which is definitely not right. But it's 2 cents, down 96% today. So I sold it for 68 cents this morning. So, you know, got out of that real nice. Jesse, what's up? Got paid, nice. Let's see here. Nelson, what's going on? So we got out of IBM, nice, safe, clean. Was a bit anything short today, as you guys know, just got ultimately just destroyed. Like it just it just died. Then I did a GLD put on GLD. I had the 124 put, which I guess I should have held on to a little bit longer. GLD, I'll actually pull it up onto here. GLD I bought for 60 cents, sold for 75 cents. So it was a small scalp. It was about in like an hour and a half or so. Pretty small, nothing major. But if we look at the 124 put here, let's go to GLD 124. Oh, I was trading next week's expiration. So this put actually went from a low of 51 cents today to a high of $1, what is this, $1.15 or so. And right now it's sitting at 88 cents. I sold it off for 75 cents. So left some money on the tables there as well. Yeah, SPY calls clean up. They were like 600%. Acaria. Hope I said that right. What's going on? H7. Anyone have Nike puts? I know some people here had some positions on Nike. I think Chathan, he had an Iron Condor. I know FC's holding some stock. I don't know about any. I wasn't trading Nike earnings. I do have Nike earnings here. Looks like Nike earnings hit a high of 89.97. Right now it's 84. So I don't know if it was lower guidance or what. They actually beat EPS. So we'll see what happens. See what they say on the conference call. But right now it's down like what, 4%. So GLD, I actually haven't traded GLD in a while. The reason why I traded GLD is because it got popped up a bit yesterday, and it was selling off. If you look here with the Fed news, got popped up, came up a little bit after hours, and then it was just dropping all day. So entered and exited that a couple times, and then I actually have the 123 put for next week as well. Currently on that position, I'm up $1 on that, so nothing to write home about. So we'll see what happens. What I was thinking for my exit, if it pops back up here to 123.80 range, if it kind of broke through up there, I was gonna cut it loose, probably like for a $3 loss or something like that, $5 loss. But it didn't quite get there, even though it did try in the last few minutes to kind of pop up to 123.80. It just couldn't get there. So we'll see. If not, I'll cut it tomorrow. We'll see. Hopefully, it would want to revisit 123 area tomorrow. Hit the 122, 123 area. Was low 122s about 5 days ago. So we'll see what happens. Daniel, I've got a good chunk of change on Microsoft being overpriced. Yeah, Microsoft is another one I actually closed out today. I'll show you guys that as well. Rich Apple. Yeah, I think today it was just like, I don't know if it was like an upsetting day. I mean, I didn't lose any money. I made some money today. I'm guessing there's a lot of people that lost some money today, mainly because they've been trying to short and it did not pay off, which leads me to Microsoft. So Microsoft, let's go to the 7-day. So Microsoft, I had a strangle on. I had the 120 call and the 116 put. And the reason why I cut it, I paid $1.23 and I sold it for $1.15. So I took an $8 loss on that. So nothing crazy, but this morning, the reason why I sold it off was mainly due to this. So I sold it at 908. Yeah, so it was, kind of show you here, Microsoft. So it popped up. A lot of times I've been burned on this type of chart on Microsoft where it pops up like $2 and then gives it all back. And it popped up and I made some money back on it and it was coming back. So I cut it loose and I thought I was going to realign the strangle. Little did I know that now is 120. It hit 120.82. Let's see what that strangle is worth now. The 116, 120. Microsoft. 120. So I sold mine. So yeah, we left some money on the table. I sold mine for $1.15, now worth $1.82. So, I mean, that's just what happens sometimes, man. So yeah, I lucked out by selling in my IBM short, but then I left some money on the table here. You know, could have made another $70, which is a big deal because the position only cost me $1.23. Would have made over 50%, 60, 70% if I held. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, did you guys really think that Microsoft and Apple and SPY's going to go up $5 today? Microsoft went from, you know, it opened at 117. Went all the way up to 120. I mean, there's no way people get really discouraged when the market does it. Like, oh, I left so much money on the table. I left $1,000 on the table. I left, you know, $500 left on the table. But like, if you knew, you would have held. You know, so don't blame yourself for playing safe. Don't blame yourself for being disciplined. Don't blame yourself, because a lot of times these positions do go against you. They didn't today, but more times than not, if you hold on hoping it's going to go higher, like, hope is not a very good strategy. So once it hits your targets, or if that position goes against you, get back to break even. Because I actually had a bearish position on Microsoft, and it went against me. I was close to break even, down $8, so I took it off the table. So I've been sticking to my disciplines. I've been having a green week so far. So you want to keep the momentum. You don't want to be like holding on, hoping for something to happen, and then you have a red week. Thought Nvidia wouldn't run so hard. Yeah, Nvidia's another one. You know, Nvidia's another one. I think everything was running. It just caught us so off guard, and that's the way it goes. Like, that's why you have to have entry strategies and exit strategies, and just stick to your disciplines, because you don't know if the market's going to go up a lot, down a lot, sideways. Like, nobody knows. There's no way you can predict that, and you can't. You know, just thank God that you have the ability to trade tomorrow, and not like, oh, I should have put, if you knew Microsoft or Nvidia or all that was going to go up 5%, or AMD was going up 5% today, or 10%, you would put your whole account on the line, and you would make tens of thousands, right? Maybe even hundreds of thousands, depending on how it goes, right? But since you don't know, you don't do that because you want to be able to trade tomorrow. So no crypto hype required on Nvidia, yeah. So, you know, left some money on the table with Microsoft, but we got out safe. You know, the one thing that I've been doing since I got back from Mexico is just kind of going slow, low, trading safe, not getting too crazy. AMD was the other one I took off here. So AMD, I lost $14 on this. I had the 25 put and the 27 call. AMD, let's get into AMD here. So I sold that today at 10:09 this morning, and I honestly, so at 10:09 it ripped up into here. So it ripped up, started to stabilize. And the thing is about these trades is I definitely had time on my side. Like Microsoft, I had next week expiration. AMD, I had next week expiration. There was no reason that I had to like knee-jerk reaction. But I also didn't think that we were going to climb 8-10% today. And then when it was looking like it was getting a little trouble here, the 27 area, you know, I wanted to take my money off the table and then redeploy it. But then it obviously hit 28 here. So let's see what that AMD Strangle's worth now. So if I had that, so I sold it for $1.04. Let's see what the 27 AMD, 27 call, 25 put, $1.55. So yeah, I mean, I left $50 on the table on that. So we did, it was $1.55, left some money on the table. Wouldn't have taken a $14 loss. But I mean, at the end of the day, I would have only made on that position $155, and I paid $118, so we made $40, you know. But we get to live and fight and trade another day. Can you DBRK? Sure. I was trying to think of, like, you guys prefer that I go through my, I've done this poll a couple times where you guys say you prefer that I do my trades up front and then we talk about the market last. Do you guys want me to talk about the trades first, or my trades first, or do you guys want me to talk about just like trades that you guys are thinking about, or tickers that you have questions about? Let me know in the chat.
So AMD is just a beast. I mean, all the chip stocks are just running. You know, AMD, I did say yesterday that I did think it could come up to this 28 area. I just didn't think it was going to be like in a day, you know. But I'm definitely glad that we're starting to experience some more price action in the market, because it was hard. It was definitely hard when the market's not moving. It's definitely a lot harder to concentrate. NIO, this is more of a speculation trade I did today. Very small play, 35 cents. I bought the 6 strike calls for April on NIO. And NIO, what I was thinking is that it's kind of bottoming out here in the 5s. But with like a penny stock or anything below $10, you have to give it enough time. So I went with the $6 strike, you know, stuck to close to being in the money, to kind of see if it could revisit like 650 area or 7 area in the next 28 days. Is really my goal here on NIO. The Fed set it off. Tobin says, do your stuff first. Okay. Nelson, your trades first. Dariana, okay. So far my trades are winning and then up front, so we'll stick with the format. And then JP Morgan, I put a trade on as well. A bullish strangle on JP Morgan. I bought the 103 call, 100 put for $1.57. JP Morgan. And as you guys know, the banks have been selling off hard. I was gonna put a short on Goldman Sachs yesterday, but since I missed my short, or a couple days ago, but since I missed my short Goldman Sachs, then you have to wait to see which direction it goes. And today it was consolidating nice. Looked like it wanted to pop back up. It did pop up briefly to 103 before coming back down. Right now it closed at 102.87. So I have this for next week as well. A bullish strangle. I have the 103, the 103 call, and the 100 put. And then I did one small spec. I did a one trade for tomorrow, just kind of a hedge against my bullish positions. Was a SPY 282 put. That's for Monday expiration this Monday. I'll be looking to cut that tomorrow, depending on where it goes. I mean, if it revisits the 282, 283 area, you know, definitely will take profits. If we open flat, I'll take profits, and we'll kind of see where we got to go. But that's more of a hedge of my other positions. Small hedge to kind of protect myself. How do you trade WTI? You don't. No, I'm just kidding. You know, it depends. I prefer USO. I trade at USO mainly versus WTO. Or /CL if you trade futures. I think VTech, I don't know, are you still here? VTech, I think you want to talk about, I think you were first. BRK. BRKA, do you actually trade this? Your BRKB. Berkshire Hathaway. I mean, in terms of BRKB, you know, liquidity, I think we've looked at this in the past where just liquidity is poor on the options. And right now it's just trading very mid-range. I don't think you can trade options on A. I don't think they have options. No options. You can buy stock for 307,000 a share right now if you want. It's trading mid-range. Goes up to 335,000. Nice little quadruple top up here. If you got the funds, go for it. There was MU. Yeah, crude oil is up. It's actually down. Actually below $60 a barrel now. Which says chump change. Yeah, with all the money you guys made on SPY today, you could have bought a share of Berkshire if you really want to. I mean, you know. But yeah, MU had earnings. Was the catalyst here, but also kind of the market kind of helped it out. I'm trying to see if MU. I was actually going to put a position on today, but I'm actually going to wait till tomorrow because I actually said this in the Discord that every time that, let's say they had earnings last night, every time that I put a position on the next day for earnings in this quarter, pretty much every time the following day, which would be tomorrow, they suck the premium out. So I'm gonna wait till tomorrow to put a position on. You know, we'll see where it goes. You know, we'll see. Can it revisit the 46 area, or is it gonna get rejected up in here? You know, so I was thinking in terms of for MU, the trade that I was looking at today for next week. I wanted the 43. This was more of a bearish strangle, and the it was something like this. I was looking at the 43. I was looking at the 43 put and the 46 call. So if it revisits 46, we'll maybe break even, maybe down a little bit. If it goes back to like the 42, 41 range here, then we'll be making some money. So I don't know. The thing is about the market. Why did SPY go up? We talked about this. Is that it's been bouncing here the last few days at like 280, kept revisiting 280. And before, like the 280 range was acting as a resistance. So it was hitting it, bouncing down, hitting it, bouncing down, hitting it, bouncing down. But this time when we revisited it, we came up and we did get rejected, but then it came back up. And then it looks like instead of becoming resistance, it's starting to form some sort of support here at 280. So the question is are we going to be like in a tight range around the 280 area where it decides to have its next leg up, or are we going to, you know, come down? Right now, it appears up. You know, we really need to get above, I think we really need to get above 285 so that way we can start revisiting like 290, 295 area. You know, all-time high is 293. It's a crazy time that we live in to think about that. Just a couple months ago, we thought, oh, we're going to be entering like the biggest bear market of our lifetime. Well, not of our lifetime, but in recent memory. And instead, we recovered and we started to go back above. And in let's go into 2 years ago. You know, when we had this in 2018, when we had the huge sell-off, we recovered and then it pushed us higher. You know, from the high there, it was like 280, 286 area, and then we pushed the 293. But you know, the reason why is the market going up? You know, and that's what a lot of people were saying. Like 2017, it was like, does the market deserve to go up? Are these valuations too crazy? And you know, you can't fight the market. You can't fight the market because you're going to lose. You have to kind of go with the flow. You have to stick with your beliefs, sure, but at the same time, if you were shorting SPY today, you just got ripped a new one. You know, if you were shorting anything today, really, you got ripped a new one. Like Apple as well. Apple had an upgrade though. Apple had an upgrade today. You know, those are nice. So I like to have a position and if there's an upgrade or a downgrade, because it definitely helps if you already have a position on. However, I don't like to chase those because a lot of times those come back down to reality. But I mean, Apple, I mean, just the robots, you know, the robots were turned on to buy. And yeah, Trump does need it to be up. Trump needs it to be up. However, it doesn't look like he's having any progress with his trade war. So Trump needs it to definitely be up for the 2020 election. But I don't know. You know, like, why is it up? I don't think anybody knows. Like, expect Apple, other than the upgrade, I mean, to run 4% today, it's just insane. And then Apple has also ran, you know, it's up $14 in 5 days. So you don't want to be the guy that's like, okay, I'm going to be shorting this, because a lot of people in 2017 that continued shorting the spikes, and their payday never came. Their payday did not come. They were bled out for a whole year. Alex, what's up? Hank, how was the equity distribution on SPY? I mean, how far does Amazon go before rolling over? Well, Amazon technically has the 2,000. Amazon technically has the 2,000 here. It just, like I was saying yesterday, for it to go up 200 points in just 2 weeks is just, it's insanity. It's insanity. 200 points. But I mean, I don't think it could definitely hit 2,000, but it's just crazy. You know, 2 years ago, Amazon's 833, and we're now at 1,800. So if you bought one share, you'd be up $1,000 right now. I mean, yeah, Hank, you don't want to get in front. Hank, you don't want to get in front of Amazon. You do not, especially when it has this much strength. Like when it's on a rip like this, you just don't. You don't. You wait till there's some consolidation. But even that has had a rough time. Even though in earnings, it didn't really move in earnings, and maybe this is like a post-earnings breakout. But NASDAQ is definitely moving. NASDAQ's up 120 today. Dow was up 250, and the S&Ps are up 33. It's just, yeah, I mean, you want to concentrate now that it broke above, so the 1780 area on Amazon, now that's above that, you really don't want to short until like the 2000 area if you're looking to short it. But I mean, that's a wide range. That's another 200 points, so you might want to hop on the bull train until you get there and then short it at 2000, 2050. I mean, it's just like the title of the video today is like, the stock market is like legit insane. Like, what has changed in the last 3 months to make it do this? Seems like it goes up a lot faster than down, so yeah, I just got to go with the flow. But I agree, technically it's still bullish, but we're all nervous after. Yeah, I mean, a sell-off can occur at any time, and also sell-offs occur when the least people are expecting it. But also, a lot of people were expecting the market to go down, and now it's going up. So like, the market's always going to surprise you. So it's like, well, why don't you just like inverse what you do and stuff like that? But then you start to go down this path where you don't really, if you start inversing yourself, you don't really actually know what you believe anymore. Like if you start trading that way, say, oh, I think I'm going to short Amazon, but then I'm going to inverse myself and go long. Eventually, like you'll get to a point where you'll say, hey, if I'm inversing myself, what is my actual thinking on the market? You don't know. You'll confuse yourself. Can you explain more in entry and exit point? Nelson, are you talking about like when I would put a trade on versus taking it off, or when I put a trade on or when I take a trade off, like today on let's say on JP Morgan, right? And I actually in the Discord here, I'll pull it up over here on the Discord here. When I put a trade on the Discord, I have a section called Nick's Trades here, and in here I have what I'm looking at here. If I put a trade on, I'm looking for the certain range. I'll say what I'm looking for in here, but for JP Morgan, what I was looking for to get to like the 104 area for JP Morgan, because it was bouncing across here around the 102 area has been pretty good in the past. I've been trading it a little bit where at 102, it bounced back up to 104 and goes back down. It bounces back up to 104, then goes back down. So I was trading the range here. Range just being 102 to 104 range. If it goes to 105, great. I don't know if it's going to. You know, the market. I mean, it went from 108 down to 102, which was insane. So I'm just playing the range. I missed the short, so I went for the long here at the 102 area and hoping that it kind of returns to 104, 105 area. And if not, I have the 100 put to kind of trigger if it reaches down to 100. If it continues to sell off, I have the 100 put. So I don't want it to go down, but if it does, I have the 100 put to kind of catch me a little bit, recover some of those losses. Killer Bees, what's going on? SEB. I don't even know what SEB is. VTech. Can you explain why there are no near the money options on BIIB? The reason for it is because the market was not anticipating this sort of a drop. I don't know why it dropped that much. And 13,000 on puts, 37,000% on the puts. I mean, insane. Like these 300. Let's look at these 300s here. Wow. What happened? It's really bad. Yeah, these went from these. Oh man, these went from 1 penny or 10 cents up to $74. So if you bought one of these, it would have cost you 10 cents, and you would have made $7,400. Wow. Wow. So yeah, the reason why is because the market wasn't expecting this, obviously, and they didn't have these strikes available. Probably tomorrow they'll have more strikes available, but that's why you can't get into a position there. Man, that's why the strikes are all messed up, is because, you know, it went from 320 down to 226, and they didn't have the strikes available, and then that price action happened. And now they have to create those strikes for it to be appropriate. Looks like down here for this week's they do have some, but yeah, that's insane. I don't know, Biogen, what kind of news they had. Let's see if they had price action was pretty low. Biogen news. Biogen post. Let's see here. Yeah, this is one of the reasons why I don't typically trade pharma, is because of things like this happen. I mean, yes, you can make some money, but timing it's like impossible. But it says Biogen posts the worst day in 14 years after ending trial for blockbuster Alzheimer's drug. Tanked 29%. The company said the decision to stop the phase 3 trial came from an independent group's analysis showing that the trials were unlikely to meet their primary endpoint. The recommendation to stop the studies was not based on safety concerns. Goldman Sachs analysts had projected at one time that sales of I can't even pronounce that, could reach $12 billion. So now they're not going to have that drug. You know, that's what happens to pharma. Also, like, what happens in pharma a lot is, like, they'll be doing these drug trials and be like, oh, somebody died, and then their stock tanks like 50%. But I mean, timing is very, very tough. I mean, this has been trading in a tight range for a while, and then one day it drops. So, you know, to take advantage of these positions is you have to be actively trading a stock like this. But to actively trade a stock like this is very tough because not a lot of people trade the options on it. The monthlies don't look that bad. Some nice volume on these monthlies, mostly on the calls. Obviously, there is some volume on the puts, but right now I would say wait till they add some more strikes in there for you to trade. Buy some Gen and put away. Yeah, I mean, if you wanna buy some stock, if you believe in the company, go ahead. But I don't know. Facebook. All right, VTech, I got you. I got you on Facebook. I got you. Yeah, Facebook hit 159 the other day. It's coming back at 166. Looks to be recovering. However, like the 1 year chart's a little bit less dramatic in terms of the short term, but we are getting some decent price action. I think that this could pop up, you know, probably about 174 range, 172. Andrew, what's going on? BKNG. Booking Holdings. Booking's having some. They said they're having more competition from Airbnb and places like that. I mean, Airbnb actually is just pretty incredible if you haven't used their services. But I've traded Booking Holdings a lot, or what was previously called the PCLN Priceline, and this is a very typical chart of what I would trade. I would probably put on a vertical put spread though on Priceline, because it's very hard. Sorry, I'm Booking. Still getting used to their new ticker. It gets hard to get the right pricing on. So like if I was looking at for next week and I wanted to be bullish, let's see, what's the price right now? 1774. I would probably trade something. I'd probably trade something like this, but you could see like there's not a lot of volume on these, but it's way easier to sell like a credit spread. You know, I would probably try to go for like 135 on this one, and then this one maybe, since it's at 174, we're kind of right in the line there. I actually still probably would. I probably would try 135. I wouldn't go lower than 125 for this trade, so I would do like a 1750 and 1775. I would short this one, and I'd buy that one. I'd buy the 1775. But you have to, for Booking, because the liquidity is low, I wouldn't buy options. I would short options in there, and I would make sure that your pricing is good. You know, for a $2.50 wide strike, it's $1.25, so it's costing me, you know, I get 50% of the width, maybe $1.30. $1.29 maybe, $1.29. So that's not a bad trade right there. I do like that for Booking Holdings. You know, you just got to be able to stomach the moves. I mean, this was a pretty crazy day. It went from 1744 up to 1787. Now it came back down. Definitely would have been better to buy at like the 1750 areas. But it definitely looks like a bullish coil up for me. Chewy, why do you always comment yellow on the videos? I noticed that. So when you comment on my videos after watching, you always say yellow. I don't know what that means. Never understood. I've been meaning to ask you. I like to know what you think of metals here. If the Fed is going to raise rates anymore, not going to. I think gold breaks 1380 June, July. Yeah, I think that I've been shorting gold just today. You know, I was thinking I was going to revisit maybe the 122 area, but I definitely think that it could revisit. Like if you're looking at GC, it could definitely. This definitely looks bullish for the long term. So my GLD short was just very short term. I think I'm going to close it out soon, but long term, yeah, I do agree. I do agree with you. Oh, it's yellow like hello. Okay, got it. Tesla. Alex, ATVI, yo Baron. The one thing about Tesla that I think is pretty scary is that the descending pattern that we have right here, you know, at 380, and then we have like 350, and then again at 320, and then again at 294, and now we're at 274. So you could say this is bullish, but as you can see, every pop here is like short-lived. Like this pop, like was this going to go down to 250? You know, it's kind of like in this range when it was starting to descend here from last 380, starting to descend, and then we finally got earnings, boosted it up, and took it out of there. But I think this is pretty scary right here. But yeah, selling the 245 put, not a bad bet. Just be careful that if any sharp drops to like 250. So yeah, I mean, you just gotta trade like Tesla. You just gotta trade the chart. It's a very chart oriented stock to trade. You know, don't concentrate too much on the debt or the fundamentals. I know it sounds bad, but it's a very chart oriented stock to trade, and it's very great. It's good to trade options on. I love trading options on Tesla, but you got to stick with the chart and move with the chart. You don't want to get too crazy. However, like right now, like a 275, 250, there's not, I mean, there's some juice there to squeeze on the short side, but it's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's bounced up at like the 260 area before and 270 area, so we'll see. But it's moving pretty slow, as you guys can tell today. I mean, today, last couple days, like if you look at the last 2 days, really just didn't have all morning, didn't do anything, and then it popped up in the afternoon, and then it sold off into close today. You know, didn't do anything all day, popped up, and then sold off into close. So these pops are getting sold. Even though it did close up 42 cents on the day. So got that. ATVI, Alex. Oh man, I was actually waiting for the breakout. I was trading ATVI after earnings, made a little bit of money on ATVI after earnings. I was just getting a little impatient here, so I stopped trading it. But now that it's breaking out, I might actually add this to the list here. Easily could revisit 50, 52, 52 area, 50, 52. Let's see what the pricing is on that. I pull up the pricing on Tastyworks because it's a bit bigger for you guys to see. So for like next week, ATVI, if you did like a bullish strangle, a little expensive for a $49 stock. Expected to move $2 next week. Might want to go out. Let's see what's the. So you might not be able to do a bullish strangle on this to trade it very safely. You would have to probably just pick like one side for the next week or two, see how it goes. But I think it's just starting to recover after that massive sell-off. I mean, this is an $84 stock, came down to $39.85, but now it's starting to break above these highs here, which is nice. Check out NTNX. And that's crazy. So had terrible earnings and is just trying to close this gap now. Let's see what this not a whole lot of volume on these, but not bad, not terrible. Next week's, let's see what the monthlies are like. Yeah, volume isn't that good. Bid and the ask is a little bit wide, but you can if you can put an order in for a good price. But I wouldn't chase the pricing in here. I mean, I do like the chart. It does feel like you missed the boat a little bit after the consolidation here. Once it broke out, probably should have put a trade on. Now it's going to have a 2 or 3 day run. You know, maybe look for a little bit of a reset. Maybe come back down to like 40. Put a bullish strangle on or buy a call. Hopefully close the gap up to 45. Boss.com, CLF. And then, yeah, look at Cisco. CLF. I don't think I've ever traded CLF. Some decent volume on those calls. Decent volume. Monthlies have some okay volume on that. Yeah, I mean, in terms of CLF, it might bounce here, but it's like kind of weak recently. But it has some decent support back in here, so definitely at like the 960 area, 950 area, I definitely think it could bounce back up. You know, and then it looks like earnings, it didn't move on earnings, but then just kind of get back. So I would have to look. I would actually, to make a good decision on this, I'd have to actually look at what they released last earnings. I don't know. Expected was 60 cents. Their actual was $2.03. They beat by a lot. So I don't know what their guidance was. So we'd have to look in to see what their guidance was to kind of make an educated decision on there. You know, if their guidance was lower, it could revisit this 8 area. But if not, I mean, 11 is not out of the question. my opinion, July time to look at some put ideas overall. I agree with you. Depends how strong it is. And right now, the market has strength. Cisco, it keeps making out. Are these all-time highs for Cisco? Yeah. So the thing about all-time highs, when it starts breaking through, there's no resistance on there. And what happens a lot of times is FOMO sets in. So even though you don't think it's maybe worth $54 a share, and this run was pretty crazy from $40 from the lows up to 54. I mean, it's probably most likely going to continue breaking new 52-week highs until something comes out that doesn't want it to, or the market starts to reverse. But right now, most likely still going to break through, continuing to break through 52-week highs as it's been. I mean, it does look stalled out here, but it made a new 52-week high today. Obviously, the market was just insane. But if you look at the patterns on here, though, you know, it's last couple of days very much following the market. So you know, the market kind of consolidated and then ripped up and then sold off, consolidated, ripped up, sold off, and then this morning just ripped up and just ripped up. So you got to keep an eye on that Cisco is following the market right now, for better or for worse. How is Mexico? Time to hit the beach after missing the boat on these tech plays. Mexico's great. John, got it on the NVIDIA train together with MU. I had a good feeling this morning. I just hope it's not a false pumping up. What's your take on it? John, did you sell? Did you sell NVIDIA? NVIDIA, nobody understands why these stocks did what they did, but it's looking like to close this gap. I mean, I definitely think now that it's broken out above resistance here, which was like 175, you know, it's going to close this gap here to 200, 195 range. But I'm not saying that it's going to close the gap tomorrow or any case. I mean, it's looking like it's going to close the gap, but I mean, it could take a couple days to reset. It could have a couple red days. So when you're planning like long term, you know, you want to make sure when you're buying a call or a put or whatever you're looking at, whatever strategy you're looking at putting, you have to make sure, just because the market's moving with you right now, you have to put a couple days in there to kind of, let's say tomorrow's flat for NVIDIA, maybe it has a couple flat days before it moves back up again. But meanwhile, you have to make sure you pick a good expiration that has enough time in there, because just because it ran today doesn't mean it's going to run tomorrow. Sure, it could run tomorrow. Could it run another $10 tomorrow? Sure. Will it? Probably. It's probably not likely. But now that it's broken out, I mean, could definitely run another $5, $6, $7 tomorrow. But it also could just be flat, take a couple days to consolidate for its next leg up. So you want to be mindful of that when putting positions on, that you have to allow enough time for it. Just because it ran that day, you want to have enough time for it to have a red day, maybe 2 red days before going back up. SC definitely wants to fill that gap. Yeah. Is it how can Disney buy Fox but have its stock fall? Well, they don't have any really data to, and that's pretty crazy. I was looking at this area here, but yesterday we were looking at Disney. But Disney's a slow mover, so you have to be very patient with it. I mean, here it would be nice from 113 down to 110. Nice quick gains up in here. And then from like 113 in 2 days down to 108. Got some calls for next week. Yeah, I mean, for me, I think to get calls, I'd probably like, it might bounce here at the 108 area, but I'm thinking maybe like 106. When you buy contracts, you just buy one at a time. Typically, I trade one contract, but I do it on multiple accounts. So I typically trade on 4 accounts at one time. So it's like I'm buying four contracts. But this week, since I'm just getting warmed up, getting back, I've just been trading one contract on one account. I did buy some on my Thinkorswim account here, but I haven't really. I've been really just trying to be really slow and low. Concentrate on my win rate, since I was gone for a while, for like a week or so, I didn't want to go in there and just be like loading up contracts and then losing. So I just wanted to start this week, one account, then I'll increase my risk. So I mean, when you're options trading or when you're investing or trading in general, it's all about you wanting to control your risk and how much risk you're exposed to. So if I expose myself to $500 worth of risk that day, I have to be prepared that I have to be able to defend that $500 if it goes against me. And coming off a week break, I didn't want to like put $1,000 on typically what I have invested. My typical range is between $1,000 and $2,000 at any given time. But right now, I think right now I have about $300 invested because I'm just trading on one account. So I'm exposed to like $300. So when you come off a break, you kind of want to dip your feet in a little bit. You don't want to go too much. You know, I didn't want to go back and be like, okay, I'm gonna put on three. When I left, I had 0 trades. I had nothing, no positions on, nothing. So I didn't want to come on and be like, oh, I'm gonna load up $2,000 in one day. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to do that. So I've just been kind of scalping, getting my win rate, getting more comfortable with the market, getting more comfortable with the environment. And yes, I could have been more aggressive today, but I've just been kind of taking it easy this week. So I do 20% of my account and 80% monthly dividend. Nice. So yeah, I mean, it's up to the trader. And for me, you know, some people are like, hey, why do you trade one contract? Why don't you trade 4 contracts on one account, stuff like that? And it's just, you know, everyone has their own quirks. Everyone has their own style. Everyone has their own way to trade. And this is what works out for me over long periods of time. So that's what works for me. So we got about 9 minutes left. Any tickers you guys want to look at before we take off for the day? Definitely appreciate you guys for tuning in. If the video was of value to you so far, hit the like button. If you're new here, say what up. We want to meet you. There's about 50 people watching here. Starting to get back in the groove. Slime World, why? Why what? Why do I trade one contract? I was curious why you were more on the buyer side rather than selling premium. RJ, I sold premium exclusively for a number of years, and right now I've been buying premium just because that's what I prefer to trade, and I've just been having more fun with buying premium than selling premium. In a bullish market, I will, like, if the market decides to go to like the 2850, 2900 area, I'll probably be doing more vertical put spreads and those kind of things. But right now what I'm looking at is good pricing on a stock that moves a lot and selling a strangle on, or buying a strangle on it. Baron, did you miss it? I did cover Biogen for I think I spent a good 5 minutes on it. So I did talk about that already. Dow going to 4,300 before Big Short. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, people always try to time the fall, but if we could time it, I mean, we'd all be rich. And kind of like, you know, Mike Berry, we talk about with FC all the time when he shorted the mortgages and, you know, all those products. Like, he knew it was going to happen. Like, we all know the fall is going to happen, but the question is when. What is it going to be? 2019? Is it going to be 2020? Is it going to be 2021? Are they going to bleed out our short positions before they take this thing down? So, you know, I agree with the short, but they're going to make you pay for it. They're going to try to bleed you out before you and then when you cover your short positions, you get tired of shorting, like in 2017. When you got tired of this, when you got tired of going straight up and they bled you out for over a year, then they took it down. So you got to be careful about just shorting, especially in a bullish market. I'm not saying not to short. I mean, I made some money on some short positions the last couple of days, but you got to take the money quick. Levi. So Levi went public today. So Levi, they debuted at like $17, and then they opened at like $22, and they're at still $22.52. I mean, I don't think I'll really be looking at Levi's. I mean, it's probably going to go down to like the $10 range. Options, I don't think will be on it for another 2 weeks or so. Usually when a company IPOs, they don't have options for another 2 weeks. So you just got to trade the stock. But I mean, I don't think, you know, retail and fashion aren't doing that good. I mean, American Eagle, they're doing okay, but everyone's not, you know, they're not like doing exceptional. Other retail, A&F, I don't know, A&F I guess is doing pretty well these days. They were in some trouble. And they went down to $8 up to $29. So they're trying to turn things around. Boss.com, are you trading for a living or do you have other sources of income? I have multiple sources of income. I believe that trading is another source of income. I think that as an individual, you should have multiple sources of income, not just one, not just two, but many. That's just my beliefs, because ask the people that were trying to get a job in 2008 how that worked out, who had one stream of income and what they did. Lyft to me started too high. Yeah, Lyft and Uber, going to be some great shorts in there. So I think Lyft and Uber is going to be even higher. Like Lyft's going to be like a 20 billion valuation, and Uber was like 120 billion valuation, and those will be some nice short positions. And what I think is going to happen is, you know, especially like the lockout periods, a lot of people are going to start cashing out because they've been an investor for a long time, for many years. They were waiting for an IPO to cash out big as well. So it's definitely going to go down before it goes up. And it's also, those stocks, because they're public, they're going to have to prove themselves. They're going to have to prove the financials. And from what I understand, based on what they've said so far, their financials are a mess. But we'll see what happens with their quarterly reports. Any thoughts on AMD rally? Yeah, RJ, I think I did cover AMD earlier. I think it's going to go to 28. Actually, it did go to 28, didn't it? It already went to 28 today. So we're waiting. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen up in here in the 28 range. The consumer. I recently found out a lot of people trading for a living have taken out 20, but Nick knows better than that. The consumers, take retail were hurt. Yeah. Hank, we're in the same mindset. Yeah, I know some people that trade on margin. It's just when you trade on margin, you have to understand that if it goes against you and you don't have the assets, liquid assets, that's when you have to like sell your house or mortgage and stuff. Like it's bad. It's bad. Or what people say is like, okay, you can buy all you want on margin. If it works out great, if it doesn't, just file for bankruptcy. But you guys don't really understand like what filing for bankruptcy would do. I mean, it's going to ruin the next 7 years of your life, and that's a long time. That's a big chunk of your life, you know, for your bankruptcy, and then you have to rebuild your credit, and it's like it's better not to trade on margin, you know. Agree with you, FC. So anyways, guys, definitely had a great time chatting today. At an hour. If you like the content here, hit subscribe. If you want to further connect with us in the Discord or our free options trading group, the links are below. Stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.